Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2026 related video here on my channel, specifically another Melodifestivalen 2026 related video. Today I will be briefly reviewing last week's fifth heat of Sweden's Melfest, which is of course their national selection method with regards to the Eurovision Song Contest, which as we all know will take place this May in Vienna, Austria. I'll also be looking ahead to tomorrow night's big grand final in Stockholm. I'll be going through the songs one by one, giving you my brief thoughts on each track once again, and also telling you my rough prediction for the outcome. As always, you are welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So I have some information up on screen in front of me to make sure I don't forget anything too important. I also have two videos loaded up and ready to go, and they are purely there to help me remember the performances that I am going to be talking about. So last week's Heat 5 took place in Sundsvall. This was on February the 28th. 6 more songs involved. 2 progressed to the Stockholm Grand Final tomorrow night, and 1 act moved into the second chance round, final qualification round, whatever you want to call it. Let's begin with the song that finished 4th in the third round of voting, 5th in the second round of voting. This was Blade with Who You Are. Blade, of course, being Isa Tengblad, who has appeared under her real name in Melfest in the past, albeit most recently before this year, a decade ago. So I've written here, not a great deal at all, beautiful but really lacking. I think that's fair to say. The song was just lacking any sort of real hook or real spark, or any moment that was going to make me go wow. And I think that was the case for a lot of other people watching last weekend as well. She was barefoot, I think. She was wearing this white outfit. She had dancers around her in sort of ragged attire. And there was a little bit of a dance break for some reason as well. I think that might have only been there, truth be told, to liven up proceedings momentarily. This was somewhat disappointing, I've got to say, because when I realised that it was indeed Isa Tengblad under this name taking part in Melfest this year, I was quite excited because I quite liked her previous efforts. But this felt mature, which is not a bad thing, and it felt, I suppose, fairly serious. And, coming after the quite lively entry from Juliet, and certainly the quite lively entry from Alexa, and then, right after this, we had Delulu. This just fell flat on its face, I'm afraid to say. And I really do not mind this song at all, but I am not at all surprised voters were not on board with it. If I just take a look at the brief recap video here. Here we go. Yeah, there was this circular podium on stage, and to be honest, she reminded me a little bit of Christina Aguilera years ago when she was sort of moving into her sort of other persona as a musician. And great vocals, really. At times, certainly sounding pretty good. The dancers, there they are, like I said, in ragged attire, almost like bandages. And it was a very grey looking performance, a bit of a smoke machine kicking in as well. I have nothing else to say about this. As you can tell, I am not a world-class music analyst that you're listening to right now. Anyway, we move on to the song that finished 3rd in the third round of voting, 3rd in the second round of voting, and this was Långt från alla andra by Juliet. So every year in Melfest it feels as though we have a new boy band on the block, and Juliet were this year's example. This really wasn't too bad at all. They had this sort of bedroom prop on stage. There was a sofa, vinyl records around them. The guys dressed casually, having a good time, a little bit of choreo here, very colourful stuff. You had the guitarist here with a David Bowie shirt on. And what else have I got to say about it? Not a great deal. It was enjoyable for 3 minutes, but then you sort of moved fairly swiftly on. And in a much weaker heat, this maybe could have made the top 3, but alas, it wasn't to be on this occasion. Maybe they'll be back before you know it, I don't know. There was some confetti, there was a bit of pyro. Maybe you could also say that this song was erring on the side of repetitive in the end, but not too bad, finishing, as I just said, 3rd in the third round of voting. with over 1 million votes, though, which is impressive. Anyway, finishing second in the third round of voting, second in the second round of voting, and getting 12 points with 16 to 29-year-olds in the age range voting. This was Hearts Don't Lie by Wilhelm Buchhaus, and I need to listen to this song in full again, because I really enjoyed it for what it was. I certainly know that this song had fans. We had sort of strings of lights, you'll know what I'm on about if you've seen the live performance, a bit of pyro, there was a guitar that he had, black outfit, really singing very nicely, and he has some star quality, absolutely, I would say. He really does have a tremendous voice. We saw that last year in Melfest. He was just very, very unlucky not to go through once again. What else have I said about this? Yes, there was an amp on stage, purple lighting, bit of a smoke machine, fairly anthemic in terms of its sound. 1.379 million votes, but missed out on progression. A real shame. Had this song made it to the second chance round, I'm not sure he would have made the cut there either. But a job well done, a really solid effort, no doubt about it, and I liked it from start to finish. Going through to the final qualification round, winning the third round of voting, and finishing fourth in the second round of voting, which is very interesting, was Alexa, who was so hyped up coming into Melfest, even before the first heat. Once we had the lineup for this year's event, a lot of people were really excited to see her name involved. Alexa, of course, is Alexandra Schneiderman, born in 1996 in Oklahoma, has released plenty of music in the past, including one album a year ago. She is also the holder of the American Song Contest. Anyway, I think we all sort of expected something in the K-pop realm, if you see what I mean, and certainly we had that. K-pop is not really my thing, and I don't know exactly how K-pop this song was, but nevertheless, she was in this dress, there were lasers, there were dancers. At times, she was really letting the backing vocals, the backing track, do a lot of heavy lifting, no question about it. It was quite a spectacle, but at the same time, I think visually, this was missing something for me. It wasn't quite as dynamic as it perhaps could have been, and given that there was quite a bit of hype, as I've just said, coming into this particular performance and song, I just don't think it quite lived up to expectations. 12 points from younger viewers. Older viewers didn't care for it as much. She did go through to the second chance round. More on that in a moment's time. Energetic. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about this one. Change of pace in the final third. Missing something in terms of staging. And any momentum that this song had, I think, had faded significantly before she even took to the stage for her live performance last weekend. And the fact that she's not in the grand final is perhaps no real surprise. I'm not going to say it's a flop, but maybe it does feel like a bit of a flop, given how much talk there was about this one being one to beat in this year's Melfest lineup. Anyway, the two songs that have gone through I will mention in a moment's time. In terms of the final qualification round, I will not explain the voting system because it is convoluted. But in terms of the points in the heat, Meira Omar was on top, Robin Bengtsson was second, Eva Umatate was third, Jacqueline was fourth, and Alexa was fifth. In terms of the final qualification vote, this was after Meira went through, Robin Bengtsson was on top, Ava was second, Jacqueline third, Alexa fourth. I'm not really going to talk about these songs in too much detail because I've covered them in previous Melfest related videos here on my channel over the past month. I am so very surprised Robin Bengtsson made the cut because Honey Honey is okay. It's also, in my opinion, really quite forgettable. And I'm surprised Swedish viewers put this through. I really am. He clearly has some sort of chokehold on the Swedish public because every time he's been in Melfest, he's been in the final. And yes, he's won Melfest and been at Eurovision before, nearly a decade ago. But really, even the song he had at Eurovision, I don't think had an overwhelming amount of fans. And maybe his strongest effort, you absolutely could make this case, was his first Melfest entry all those years ago, Constellation Prize. Everything he's come back with since has maybe been poorer and poorer and poorer, and yet here he is again in a Melfest final. As for Mayra Omar, that was obvious that she was going to go through. I'll talk about what I think about her chances in the final in a moment's time. I would have loved Ava Umatate to make it. She's so young. She's got a lot of promise about her. Selfish is a really beautiful track. Performing in that dress, minimal lighting, just a really lovely tone to her voice, building up, but not into anything that felt cluttered or messy or too loud or anything remotely like that at all. Really loved the way this performance ended as well when we saw it a few weeks ago. Yeah, a real shame that she did not make the cut. As for Jacqueline, going back to Heat 1, she looked great. A couple of dancers on stage with her, that sort of curved structure as well. Full of sass, quite a bit of energy on display. Visually, in terms of what was happening on the backdrop, not a great deal. So yes, this was lacking in some areas. And then Alexa, well, as I said a little while ago, in the end, I don't think anybody was too surprised that this missed out. And I suppose the sound of the song as well, fairly divisive. Even so, I thought it was going to go through. I really did. But of course, Delulu had something to say about that. Anyway, let's now go through the final, shall we? Do bear with me. I am very much aware I am rambling for the ages again. So the lineup is as follows. A-Teens will get things going with Iconic. I have another video loaded up here, so I don't need to have the volume up. A-Teens, of course, a very nostalgic group for a lot of people. They reformed about 2 years ago now, and this is obviously a big deal. Their Melfest debut. A lot of people very excited for this one. After the first heat was over, I think more people were very buzzed about A-Teens, far more than the actual winner of that first heat, which of course was Greshula. They look pretty good, vocally not too bad, visually it's pretty bog standard stuff, blue lighting, lights streaking across the arena. They are performing in and then on top of these light up boxes, and it is a fairly repetitive, safe pop effort, but it's very nice. It's a bit of a crowd pleaser, and certainly this will get a lot of points in the grand final, no doubt about it. Perhaps more so from the public than the international juries. Song 2 is Duset de Ram by Mayra Omar. People love her. They loved her entry last year. Arguably, they like this song a lot more. We have flames, we have dancers. Mayra, with all due respect, is not the strongest live vocalist. A lot of the time, she's not even singing, in my opinion. But the song itself and the studio version certainly perfectly listenable. It's a really solid effort. They all dash onto this catwalk and then onto the B stage as the song progresses. The crowd seem to be enjoying it somewhat. Bit of a smoke machine as well. Bit of a dance break. And yeah, a fairly catchy chorus, an easy to go along with hook. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you've got that, you could be onto something fairly special. And yeah, by no means is this a sort of throwaway song in this year's Melfest final. It could do fairly well, more so with the public than the international juries. Song 3, this is one I haven't spoken about before. This is Delulu by Leila Al-Fadji. I can't say I'm surprised this is in the final, but the winner of Heat 5, goodness me. This song is obviously trying to be comical. He's on top of what looks to be a large hockey puck, and then he's going around in a circle at one point, very Nemo for Switzerland 2 years ago. He's got dancers, you've got lyrics on the backdrop as well. Vocally, he's obviously not the strongest, but I don't think anybody gave much of a crap. And there is talk of this one being a huge dark horse to win the final tomorrow night. I really don't see that happening, because as much as this might put a smile on people's faces, I can only really see young viewers gravitating towards this one. 75-year-olds plus, are they really going to love a bit of Delulu? I really don't know. I certainly didn't hate it. It was performed fairly convincingly, and we've had jokey entries that definitely feel like more of a car crash than this one, that's for sure. I have nothing else to say about it. I will tell you where I think that song is going to finish in a few moments' time. Then we have Ain't Today by Saga Ludvigsson. I really like her. She was in Melfest last year, finished last. This could also finish last. Very dark in terms of its presentation. I don't really know why that's the case. She looks fantastic. She's got dancers on stage with her, these big fans, these big props behind her as well. I think I said in a previous video on my channel, reminding me for some reason of Coyote Ugly, if you're familiar with that film where people get up and dance on the bar. This is that type of song, and I just feel as though it's a bit empty and fairly unmemorable, which is a shame because I do like her. I just wish she had a slightly stronger song. Performing with a smile on her face, yeah, it's not too bad. It's a breath of fresh air in the final, but I think it really might struggle. Then we have Hollow, Smash Into Pieces. They've done well before, and this could do well again. You've got the drummer on top of this podium, surrounded by sort of computer screens. You've got wires coming out of the backs of the other members of the band. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of flashing lights. The guitar has lights all around it. The drummer has his mask on. Some big notes in this particular tune, and then the podium is elevated ever so slightly towards the end. This is right up my street. It feels classic to me in terms of its sound. You know, a lot of this type of music I was listening to when I was a bit younger, so certainly I can appreciate it. I think this will definitely have its fans, but I don't think it's winning material at all. And this might be the last time we see Smash Into Pieces in a Melfest final for a good few years at least. But who knows? Then we have Eternity by Kimberly. And again, I just feel as though visually there's something lacking here. We have sparkly diamond-like effects on the backdrop. She's in this gold outfit, also on top of a podium. Little bit of choreo, but nothing over the top. Two other dancers with her. It's a real team effort, this one. It's a catchy song. It's a really solid slice of pop. It's nice to have it in the final. It's great that it's her debut entry and she's made it this far. I just think the points might be hard to come by, particularly in the public section of the results. Then we have Viva l'Amour by Medina. Medina, well, if it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it. They're just doing the same thing they've done before and getting away with it. We have dancers in jackets. You have this huge heart on stage made up of wires, and then it's pushed together as the song progresses. You've got one of the guys holding a flame, the other one's wearing his glasses, everybody's jumping up and down, having a good time. The crowd is fired up for this one, and that's nice to see because at times in this year's Melfest, throughout the heats, it feels as though the crowd has been pretty dead, but they really seemed to enjoy this one. I use that phrase again, it's a crowd pleaser. I think a lot of points are going to go this song's way, but if Medina couldn't win with arguably stronger efforts, I don't think they're going to win with this one either. I will say that this is maybe my favourite entry by Medina in Melfest. But, yeah, I think they're going to fall short again. Then we have Half of Me by Greshula, and this is a contender for the win, it really is. I think a lot of people have sort of brushed it to one side. He's a pretty convincing performer, did well last year with his debut effort, and a whole brand new to Melfest songwriting team. This is not a million miles away from what he had last year, and I'm not sure I like this song as much as his effort 12 months ago. We have his silhouette on the backdrop, lots of flames, another little podium for somebody to perform on, and then he moves on to the B stage. He's wearing this jacket, nothing underneath. It's a very sweaty performance, I think it's fair to say. Absolutely, there's very little to fault. I know a lot of people maybe aren't on board with this song. I certainly like it, and I think the international juries will quite like it. I don't think he's winning. I just don't think that's going to happen at all, truth be told. but it is going to be up there getting a lot of love. Then we have Robin Bengtsson with Honey Honey, and this just really falls flat, doesn't it? It's really not too bad. Casually dressed, gold, warm lighting all around them. You've got other people around him banging on these boxes, clapping along in time with the tune. He's not a bad singer. It just feels lackluster, for want of a better word. It just feels like it's there to make up the numbers. And I really cannot see this making any sort of impression on the viewers. Then we have the overwhelming favourite to win, My System, Felicia, formerly Fröken Snusk. This is a bit of a redemption story. A lot of people were very disappointed with how she didn't make the final. I think it was 2 years ago now. Coming through the second chance round, it didn't happen for her, unfortunately. But this is really solid stuff. Sort of pop EDM, red lighting, lasers. It's very dynamic. You've got other dancers with her. She's got the face mask on. And later on, she has the sunglasses as well. Everybody's bopping about. It just feels contemporary, modern, cool, captivating to watch. It's got a good beat. It is the overwhelming favourite to win. Surely there's not going to be an upset tomorrow night. If there is, could it really be Delulu coming out on top? Come on now. Anyway, next up is Sanna Nielsen. I haven't spoken about this one. Big comeback for Sanna. She's been in Melfest loads of times before and, of course, won by a very narrow margin in 2014. Waste Your Love, for want of a better phrase, is super duper basic. She's in this sort of shredded silver outfit. She knows how to sing. She knows how to have the audience eating out of the palm of her hand. Very seasoned performer. You've got this streak of lights above her, which for some reason reminded me of Too Late for Love by John Lundvik several years ago. Yeah, it's pure Schlager-type pop. Slight diva-ish energy. Then we have purple lighting at some point as well. It's just a really plain song. Again, I feel as though it's there to make up the numbers. And I know that sounds harsh, but there are far more interesting, stronger efforts, I think, in this year's Melfest Grand Final lineup. I have nothing else to say about it, I don't think. Yeah. I suppose you could say it's dated, absolutely. But it is what it is. That leaves Rakt in i Elden, Straight into the Fire by Brandsta City Slackers, coming back after a long time away from Melfest. There they are, dressed as firefighters. I believe they were firefighters many years ago. You've got flames all around the stage, blue and red lighting. At one point, the fire extinguisher is kicking into life, and they're having a good chuckle amongst themselves. It's pure harmless fun, very catchy. I really don't like it. I've got no shame whatsoever in saying that this is absolutely one of my favourites in this grand final. But I think apart from a few votes here and there in the age range voting from younger viewers, maybe a little bit from older viewers, and I can't see this getting a whole lot of love from the international juries, this is probably going to finish towards the bottom. But it's really not that bad. It certainly has a bit of an earworm quality to it, I would say. Anyway, enough rambling. That is the Melfest 2026 Grand Final lineup. This is my prediction for the outcome. Now, this could be very wrong because of the international jury side of things. I saw something earlier suggesting France, Finland, Australia, Italy, Greece, Czechia, Armenia and Croatia are the international juries voting this year. That could be inaccurate, so apologies if it is. But anyway, I have gone through everything. The age range voting, including the telephone vote, and how I think each international jury will vote. And we have a prediction. Do not take this too seriously, it's just a bit of fun. I've been making predictions like this for years and years. Let's go from bottom to top. Finishing last with 11 points, 4 from the public, 7 from the juries. Honey Honey by Robin Bengtsson. Then on 18 points, 9 from the public, 9 from the juries. Saga Ludvigsson, Ain't Today. Really not too bad an entry, as I've already said, but I just don't think it leaves much of an impression in this grand final lineup. With 33 points, 13 from the public, 20 from the juries, Eternity by Kimberly. With 40 points, 11 from the juries and 29 from the viewers, Rakt in i elden by Brandsta City Slackers. With 49 points, 24 from the juries, 25 from the public, Waste Your Love, Sanna Nielsen. Could finish a bit higher, but I think mid-table is about right for this one. 64 points, 17 from the juries, 47 from the public, Delulu by Leela Al-Fadji. This really could finish a lot higher. It really could. This could get a huge public score. But I just think there are stronger entries. Absolutely. It's a bit of fun. The performance is a bit of fun. But if we're being serious, there are far better performances and songs here that should be finishing higher. It is what it is. Nevertheless, 64 points would be a very respectable score for this type of track. With 70 points, 38 from the juries, 32 from the public, Duset de Ram by Meira Omar. Moving into the top 5, 98 points, 60 from the juries, 38 from the public, Hollow by Smash Into Pieces. Finishing 4th, 116 points, 62 from the juries, 54 from the public, for Medina with Viva l'Amour. 4th would be great for them. You know, they've had a lot of love in the past. This would be another fine result for this duo. But I just don't think it's going to really challenge too hard for victory. 3rd place, 123 points, 56 from the juries, 67 from the public. Iconic by A-Teens. Yeah, this is solid stuff and it will get a lot of points. Finishing 2nd, 133 points, 73 from the juries, 60 from the viewers, Half of Me by Greshula. Maybe a little generous, that score, but it is what it is. Which means, like so many others, I have predicted My System by Felicia to be our winner. 172 points, 86 in both the jury and public vote. I really would be surprised if this actually got anything less than maybe 6 points in any of the age range voting. I would be surprised if this was blanked entirely by any international jury. As I've already said, I know I'm repeating myself here, but it feels dynamic, it feels well executed, it feels slick. That has to be awarded. And in terms of competitiveness, in terms of being in it to win it, I think this absolutely is. So there you have it. My prediction for the winner is My System by Felicia, and I can tell you my top 3 of this grand final. My System number 1, Half of Me number 2, Hollow number 3. That is it. Now, in terms of the actual show tomorrow night, there may or may not be a reaction to the results as they come in. I really don't know if I will do that. We'll wait and see. I know I've done it over the past few years, but videos like that can really be very slipshod indeed. So if it surfaces, so be it. If not, it doesn't matter. I will talk about the outcome at some point on this channel. Let me know what you think about the grand final of Melfest 2026, and I'll be back with another Eurovision related video fairly soon. Hopefully this turned out okay. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.